All right. So thank you very much for coming to this information session about our opening in AI Research Engineer, right? So we call it AIR for a nice acronym. So I'm a professor of machine learning and also the AI strategy lead in the Department of Computer Science. And we create this position for our newly established Center for Machine Intelligence, which is a 3.6 million investment from the university. So firstly, for those who are not familiar with Sheffield, right? So I show 3 buildings over there, which we use a lot. On the left is the Diamond Building, where we do our teaching, most of our teaching, and that's also our library. In the middle is where we are sitting over now, right? So that's Region Court. That's where Computer Science Department is in. That's called Region Court. And on the right-hand side is the hall space. That's our engineering, faculty of engineering. That's almost the center of the faculty. So in the Sheffield AI ecosystem, this new team of AI research engineering, it basically sits between researcher and the research software engineer. We call it RSE. And so, and we also have our RT services, right? So therefore, what we are doing is not our RT services. We are not doing services for IT or data issues. We are not doing research software engineering, although there's some overlap. What we are doing is AI research engineering, and we will take good data in, right? So we will not focus on data curation. We will basically take curated data in, and also we aim to build libraries, right? So that it can run on server, but we are not building like web services as some sense. So that's where we are positioned, right? So AIR is basically positioned between, I would like to see, between researchers and research software engineer, and also research IT services. So the plan is to use this new model, AIR model, to accelerate Sheffield AI research. We are not starting from scratch. Over the past 3 years, we have built a package called PyQ, which is part of the PyTorch ecosystem, which focuses on multimodal machine learning. So in our AI research, we will build generic frameworks which will lay the foundations for our AI research. So PyQ will be a start point, right? So we will leverage existing resources, software packages, and also build our own when there's no good ones or no existing ones. On the other hand, we will try our best to reuse and also integrate with the Python and the PyTorch ecosystem, right? Like GPyTorch, scikit-learn, NumPy, and so on. And on the other hand, we will build more specific solutions with our AIR team. This will more become an impact incubator, where we will do consultation with data owners to assess their project proposals about the feasibility, impact, and then we are more like a factory, right? I view ourselves as a factory, so we are more AIR factory. What we are going to produce are libraries, right? So we want to maximize the standardization. We want to align multiple goals, and we want to reduce the repetitions across multiple projects. We want to reuse the resources that we already have, and we want to recycle the modules from one application to the other application. And we also aim for scalability and sustainability, right? We want our libraries to be scalable, can be used by many users, and also sustainable, right? So it's not a 1 year, 2 year thing. We want it to have a long time for sustained use. So therefore, we are going to apply and adapt the existing generic frameworks to specific applications. And we are a university-supported team, so we are working across all the 5 faculties. For those not familiar with Sheffield, These FOE, FOS refer to the 5 faculties: the Faculty of Engineering, of Science, Medicine, Dentistry, and Health, Social Science, Arts, and Humanity, right? So therefore, we aim to help all across the faculties, but what we want to build are really standardized APIs and demos. Therefore, they should look all the same or very similar. It doesn't matter whether it's for engineering or social science or arts. Our KPIs, right? So we are a key investment from the university, so we need to deliver. What we need to deliver, firstly, it is paper, which is really important, is high quality papers, right? So if you understand the UK system, we care about more like 4-star or at least 3-star papers that are reproducible and can generate impact. We will build software, and particularly open source software. And we want the software to be sustainable, and that to be the good value of the investment. And we will also support funding, like internal funding competition or external, particularly external funding competition. And we also want to build a strong team in Sheffield and also grow our community users. As I said, we build libraries. Usually library, there will be a community usually can be formed through the libraries. And through this project, we will work on a few projects, and then some of them we hopefully can generate high impact, and we can have a large user base. Then for these projects, we would like to either spin out a dedicated team or spin out a company. And we want these things to be deployed in real world. So this is our how we plan the air will work. So basically we have what's called 4D airflow. Involves define the problem, design the model and the libraries, and develop the software and disseminate the results, right? So our research outcomes. So we will have quarterly call to ask the community, particularly the leaders of our interest group, to propose problems, data, and then we will assess those proposals. And in particularly, we will focus on only a few, right? So no more than 5. We have 5 people, so we will, at the same time, we will not work on more than 5 projects. Maximum, we will work on 5 projects, right? So we want to focus. We will do research and build libraries. So therefore, who we are looking for? This is not a typical position. It's not a typical postdoc. It's not a typical software engineer. What we are looking for are those who are who has interest and also skills and strengths in both AI research and software development. Therefore, if you are only interested in doing fundamental research, you're not interested in software development, this position is not for you, right? So on the other hand, if you are only interested in software development, but you are not interested in AI research, you're not interested in writing papers, this position is not for you, right? So we are looking for people who have both interest in AI research, generate research outcomes in terms of publications and software, and also building software, right? So that's a very important criteria, right? So if you have only interest in one of them or have only skills in one of them, these positions are not for you, right? So there will be other positions suit you better. Secondly, we have 5 positions, but we are building a team, right? So when we are not just hiring 5 individuals, we are hiring a team, right? We are hiring a team of 5. And we are aiming for interdisciplinary research, right? We are interested in interdisciplinary collaboration. As I said earlier, we aim to serve and help work with the whole university across all faculties, right? So therefore, if you have no interest in interdisciplinary research, you say, okay, I just care about computer vision or computer graphics. I do really have no interest in other very different field, right? So then this position is not for you. Right? So this position is not for you. We're looking for people who have interest to cross the discipline of their own discipline, go to the other discipline to make a change. And we value quality more than quantity, right? So we aim for the highest standard and highest quality research outcome, right? So we emphasize quality over quantity, right? So if you are aiming for quantity, you said, okay, I want to publish lots of papers, right, in 3 years, this position is not for you, right? So we are aiming for researchers who aiming for publish just a few very important high-profile papers and a few very influential software, right? So if you aiming for quantity, you want your CV looks substantive, this position is not for you. And we want people who have ambition, right? So we want to create world-class research and also impact. Therefore, if you do not have such ambition, you are just looking for a job, just saying, okay, I just want to earn a salary, and just do what I've been asked for. That this position most likely is not for you, right? We're looking for people have ambitions to conduct world-class research and have world-class impact. Right? So therefore, we're looking for people with ambitions. And also, we are looking for a diverse team, right? So we also want team members. As I said, we are not hiring 5 excellent individuals, but we are hiring a team, right? So therefore, diversity and complementarity is very important for us, right? So if you know machine learning, right? So if you have studied like ensemble method, right? You know that diversity is key to a successful ensemble, right? So we are basically ensemble, right? So therefore, we need diversity, right? So we particularly want a gender balance. We welcome female candidates, right? So let's see that if it's similar, right? So if similar quality of candidates, then we will prefer to have females, right? So to have a good gender balance. And also we want complementarity of interest and skills, right? So for example, we will not hiring like 5 people who are all like NLP experts or who all work on computer vision, right? So we're looking for people can complement each other in terms of interest and skills, right? So that as a team, we are the strongest. And as you notice, we have 2 actually levels. One is a senior AI research engineer and one is a regular one, right? So for the senior AI research engineer, we expect you to have high quality research output, right? So this will be more like a postdoc version of the AIR, and we expect you to have high quality research output and have solved some real world problems using Python, right? So that's what we are going to use. And we also expect you to have experience in collaborative software development, right? So for example, the most popular one is GitHub, right? But other similar platform is fine, like GitLab, right? So, and we also expect you to have training and some teaching and supervision experience, right? So that's for senior AI. The detailed requirements are specified in the about the jobs, the criteria. So please study that carefully about what we are looking for. And next is what will you deliver, right? So what do we expect out from your work? Firstly, I want to say that we are not just building software, right? So we are aiming to build libraries, right? So we are not aiming just for software, we're aiming for libraries. And we also want to build a user community around the libraries, right? So this is what we need to deliver. And we want our software to be not just reproducible, right? So reproducibility is very important, but that's not what we only aim for, right? So we aim for not only just reproducible, but it need to be reusable. It can be used in other similar applications, and also we want it to be actually reused, right? Because some software, they may be reusable, but if you do not have the effort to maintain it, it will not be used by other people, right? We want our software to be actually reused, right? Reused. So that's what we need to deliver. We aim for top quality paper and high impact, right? So this also including getting fundings, external fundings. We will need to create, right? So to make our software reusable and also reused, we just uploading our code on GitHub is not enough, right? So we need to build demos and training materials so that we can help the users to actually using our software, right? So that's very important. And for senior AI research engineer, we expect you to have some leadership, help us to manage the projects and supervise junior members, and also take some delegated responsibility from the head. And you can find the detailed job description from the about the jobs, right? I'll show you later on. And next, right? So what opportunities do we offer, right? So this position. Firstly, is that we offer the opportunity to create real-world research impacts, right? Through using AI to power multiple disciplines. And we offer the opportunity to work within a network, within our Sheffield AI network, and within the Turing network, basically established across the Alan Turing Institute, and we are one of the members of the Turing University network. And we also offer the opportunity for you to learn from me. I have been here for 6 years. I supervised many students, including MSc, PhD, and many of them are quite successful. And you can also learn from the broader team, our postdocs, our PhD students, our colleagues, and also from the community, right? So other departments across the university, other AI researchers across the university and across the Turing network. And these offer a range of career development opportunities. Particularly, for example, for senior AI research engineer, you will have the opportunity to have a leadership role, for example, in one of our interest groups. And for AI research engineer, you will have the opportunity to do a part-time PhD with a fee waiver. I think 3 years typically, because this is a very research-focused job. So you should be able to complete the most significant part of a PhD within 3 years by publishing 1 or 2 significant papers. And this offer career pathways to academia. You can build up your publication and skills to become competitive for a lecturer position. And as I mentioned, when we create impact and have large user base, we also have the opportunity to build a spin-out company and have a startup company. That means for those with entrepreneur ambitions. And this can also make you more ready for industry if that's what you aim for, because we work on AI skills, open source software. I think that's skills that are much sought in industry. And this will give you the opportunity to become part of a team who will be a power engine, firstly, of our new Center for Machine Intelligence, and for the University of Sheffield, and then for the Sheffield region, and for the north of England, and for the UK, and even for the world. So how to apply for this position and also succeed in your application? I think the most important is to read the ATG. That's what we call it. The full name is about the job. Right? So that's called ATG. You need to address the criteria we have specified and show your strengths with evidence, right? It's not enough to say that, okay, I'm very strong in programming. You need to show us evidence, right? Because so that we can evaluate your strengths. So basically, most of you will see this advertisement on jobs.ac.uk. So if you click the apply, you will come to this page, right? So it's not very explicit, but if you look at the arrow, what we point over here, that is about the job. That's the ATG, right? So therefore, you need to click this link, ATG, about the jobs, right? So when you go there, that is a 2-page document, contains the most important information, but that's not all the information, right? So you need to click about the job. So right, so you have to click the ATG, that's about the job, and then you will see this 7-page document. And you need to see the job description, that is at the later page. And you need to study the criteria, which is on page 3, right? So page 3 is the criteria. So we list the criteria for G6, that is AI engineer, research engineer, and G7 is a senior role, right? So it's a senior role. So you need to address this criteria and show your strengths with evidence, right? So if you read the advertisement closely, we have specified that you need to include in your application, firstly, your CV. It is good to have a compact version to show your strengths, right? It's not good to send us lengthy CVs of 10 pages, right? So that means that you didn't really think about what's your strengths and what's important, right? So have a compact version to highlight your strengths, and have one representative writing, right? So it can be a paper, particularly for senior role. And if you haven't published paper, show us your dissertation, your technical report. That can help us to assess your writing. And code samples, you can either attach code samples, or if you have code on GitHub or other public space, you can attach, provide a link. And you should also have a brief description of a collaboration experience in your application statement, right? That's when you fill in the form. That's the first few fields. And of course, there's a question about what if, right? So what if you do not have existing experience in some of the criteria? What I suggest, right, so if you want to apply, is to demonstrate the potential, right? Demonstrate your potential. Also, there's still 3 weeks to go until the deadline. So I think you can do you can have some of the experience at least in the next 3 weeks. For example, software development, software GitHub experience. You can have a go and try to demonstrate some potential or some preliminary experience, right? So, and what if, right? So what if you are keen, very interested in this position, but you are not ready to apply, or you are eventually not selected, right? Because we have 5 positions only, right? So what I suggest is to follow the updates for example, our future openings by following me on LinkedIn. We will, if we have a future opening, we will post it and publicize it. Also, you don't have to have this job, right? So to work with us, you can participate in our research as an open source contributor or community member. Nothing can prevent you to contribute to open source, right? So that's the benefits of open source. Although you will not be paid, but you will still have the opportunity to work together. Right, so thank you very much for the registration form that you have submitted. So I have gone through all your questions. I will not answer your questions one by one, but I will answer all the information you needed, right? So that can address all your questions. First one, this is a full-time position, right? So we have 2 roles for the senior role, and we plan to recruit 2 senior air and 3 air, right? So, and we will need you to be here in Sheffield in person, right? So therefore, we will not offer you the choice to work remotely, right? Because we need to work as a team. We need to talk to our community members. We need you to be here in person, right? So it's some flexibility will be fine, but like a totally remote is not possible for us. And it is open to all nationalities, right? You can get a tier 2 visa. And some ask that some of the potential applicants are part-time. They are doing a PhD, saying, okay, can I just convert the PhD to a part-time and apply for this job? Well, this job is full-time, right? So if you think you can do the full-time job and your university and supervisor is fine with your part-time conversion, we don't have issue with this, right? That's your freedom, your choice. For those who are finishing PhD, likewise, right? So this is a full-time position. What we care is whether you can do the job, right? So if you have additional bandwidth to work in after the full-time duty on your finishing your PhD, whatever, that's fine. And we also consider new bachelor or master graduates for the junior positions. As I said, as long as you can demonstrate your satisfying the criteria, right? So you will be eligible. And some also ask about the English requirements. That is for work visa, right? So tier 2 visa, there's some English requirement, right? So please check the official government website for tier 2 visa requirement on English. And some ask eligibility, right? So as I said, the eligibility you need to check the criteria, or you specify the essential. You have to be you need to satisfy the essential criteria to be eligible, right? If you find you clearly do not satisfy one of the essential criteria, then you are not likely to be selected, right? So, and some also ask about the topic, right? So can I choose my topic? Yes and no, right? So you cannot, you do not have 100% freedom in choosing a topic, right? But within the topic proposed by our colleagues, and after we assess the impact, you may have some freedom in choose what topic to work on. As I said, we need to work on a team, right? So therefore, if we have chosen 5 projects, we need to work on all of them, right? So therefore, one will be in charge of one project. Therefore, you do not have 100% freedom, but you have some freedom, right? So, and the research area, right? So one question asked me, do you looking for any particular skills or particular area? We will have 5 positions and the whole team, and we are going to power the whole university. Therefore, we need people from all areas, right? We have 5 people. Therefore, we need to be able to deal with multi-modality data, right? For example, we need people work on imaging, time series, text, NLP, and tabular data. So we need to have the capacity and capability to deal with all kinds of data, right? So we will take a team-based approach, as I also emphasized complementarity earlier. And also some ask about the particular software. We will work within the Python ecosystem, and particularly the PyTorch ecosystem, right? So that's what we are going to work within. And for the interview, it has been planned in the second week of May, right? So after the closing date, 24th of April, we will do a shortlisting, and then we will contact you if you are shortlisted for an interview, right? So it will be, it is planned, right, in the second week of May. In the interview, we will ask you to do a very short presentation, and then it will be followed by questions from the panel, and you will also have the opportunity to ask your questions, right? So this can be conducted either in person if you are in Sheffield, or you can travel to Sheffield. We welcome you to come to meet in person for the interview. But if that is not possible, we can conduct the interview online. All right, so that is introduction to the position. I hope that has answered all or most of your questions. Therefore, we welcome you to join us to work on this very exciting um, project to power the research of Sheffield and the region and the country and the world with AI. You can see this is me who is speaking, and Emma is in the room, and Sure is just beside me, and the rest are our team members, like a postdoc and PT students.